If you made it to this video, I can already assume that you are on your way to being part of the 1%. You already are aware that 99% of people live their lives as NPCs. And the most shocking part of the world that we live in is that most of those people are aware of the trap that they're in. Some of them do have awareness that they are living life in that manner, but they're trapped by their finances and they're trapped by their paycheck. Or maybe they're trapped by their time because they can never find a way to escape the rat race. Once you have that comfortable job, you rack up those expenses and you have responsibilities, it no longer becomes as simple as making more money or spending time on something else when you're already trapped in that game. Or even worse, they're trapped in their location because they never had the courage to leave their hometown. And unfortunately, for most of these people, they will never have the courage to break free of their situation. They know they're imprisoned, they know the life that is set out before them, but they won't do anything about it. But because you are here watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you possess the courage to do something about it for your own life. And you finally want to kill any sort of mediocrity or complacency that you are currently experiencing. You want a life that is full of freedom. You want a life that is full of abundance. And most importantly, you want to take care of your people and do things your way. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to become a player in your own game, take back control over your life, and make sure that the things that we've spoken about do not become your reality. I'm going to give you a bulletproof 4-step war plan that will ensure that the life you live is free of those things and of the negativity that the other 99% experience. These 4 steps will prepare you to finally live a life of abundance and of freedom. So instead of living a looping life of the same routine, the same paycheck, and being imprisoned by your own finances, I'm going to show you how to break free, and I'm going to show you how to live on your own terms. So let's cover this 4-step war plan that I used and that I've seen hundreds of my successful friends use to break free of this infinite loop and to live life on their own terms. Step 1 of this war plan is to define your path to greatness. Remember, everyone gets dropped into this game with $0 in their bank account. Advantages and disadvantages are simply part of the cards of life, and you can't really affect that. So whether you have $200 to your name or whether you have $300,000 to your name, you have to take full responsibility for the situation that you are in. And guys, I know it's better to start off with a little bit more. It's better to start off with connections and family. But if you don't have that, it's better to just take responsibility for the situation that you are in rather than feel sorry for yourself. And your current situation and your current bank account is a reflection of the choices that you have made up until this point of you watching this video. Your lack of knowledge, your lack of foresight, and the lack of action that you've had has led you exactly where you're at. And whether that's harsh or not, I want you to take full responsibility for your situation. But the good news is you still have time to escape and you are now aware of the plan that is laid out before you. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Hopefully your situation is no worse than mine was. And if you are in that situation, I want you to know that I did the same thing. I started from the bottom and I've gotten to where I am with this 4-step war plan. The infinite loop is so ingrained in our society that most people aren't even aware of what's going on. When people encourage you to go to college, get on substances like alcohol and drugs, spend all of your money on degeneracy, and partake in habits like watching pornography and just wasting your life away, they are trying to ingrain the infinite loop into you as well. Like I said in the last video, those who try to break free of this loop are making the others that are already stuck more insecure about themselves, and they will lash out against you to try to keep you trapped with them. Misery loves company. It spreads from person to person like an illness. And very rarely do you meet somebody that is chasing truth and freedom in their own life. But you're here to escape that complacency and to finally, once and for all, do something. So let's keep moving. If you're going to break out of prison, you need to know exactly what that prison looks like, how it's laid out, and what your plan to escape is. If you're currently in a prison, like you are in life and like you are in the infinite loop that I've explained in the last video, we need a concrete plan to escape. And that first step of that plan is financial. So as we define our path to greatness in step 1, you need to know what is that path financially. And for me, that path was $10,000 a month. And that is what I've seen for our students, for my friends, for everyone that I've ever come in contact with. That is the first freedom number that you will hit. Once you make $10,000 a month, you can escape the infinite loop in a pretty large part. You don't have complete freedom over your life yet, but you have the ability to start working on things that you choose and stop living in survival mode. You can get nice food, you can go to a nice gym, you can drive a nice car, and even live in a nice apartment with $10,000 a month. At $10K a month, you're able to live basically anywhere in the world. You're able to save money. You're able to invest in yourself and truly be independent of the financial system of working a job or going the normal career. But more importantly, $10,000 a month is where you start to break free of the infinite loop. When you're making 6 figures a year from anywhere in the world, from your laptop, you are unfuckwithable. Guys, don't overlook the fact that 10K is impressive. You will see people online and even someone like myself, and they'll make you feel like, oh, 10K is nothing. Guys, $10,000 a month is more than like 1% of the population of the world earns. If you can get to 10K a month, you are doing something that only 1% of the human beings on this planet are able to do. And once you're able to do that, you start to think, what else am I capable of? Because guys, although it may seem like a big goal right now, I want you to understand that 10K is just the starting point. Once you hit 10K a month, making 100 and making 1 million happens so much faster. So that needs to be our North Star, and that needs to be our path to greatness, is getting to $10,000 a month. The same way that in a video game, you have a clear path to get to the end of the game or to get whatever your objective is done, 10K a month is our first objective. Step 2 is that now that you have your objective, you have your path to greatness defined, we need to embody the habits of somebody that earns $10,000 a month. We, as human beings, are defined by our habits. Habits maketh the man. If you're stuck in mediocrity and complacency, it's because you embody the habits of somebody that is mediocre. But if you are winning in life and you're on a path to success, even if you're not there yet, you're on that path, you're embodying the habits of someone that is successful. And this sounds super easy and it sounds very generic, but I'm telling you, this is the stuff that moves mountains. So let's get super tangible with it. I'm going to give you non-negotiables that you need to adopt into your life right now and make this your new routine. This is coming from myself, and this is coming from the study of over thousands of students of ours that have become successful by embodying the habits of successful people. So get a piece of paper out and take down notes on this. The first step is dialing in your health. Guys, if you are driving a Ferrari, you do not put the worst fuel that you can in that Ferrari. And your body is no different. You are a temple. God made your body in the most perfect way. But if you fuel it incorrectly and you don't take care of it, it won't function the way it was intended to. So the starting point for this is dialing in your sleep. You need to be getting bare minimum 8 hours of quality sleep a night. And I don't care what hustle porn, grind till you die, I'll sleep when I'm dead bullshit that you hear. Those people are stupid and those people are poor because their brains do not function properly. For me to even sit down and talk to you like this on this video, I have to get 8 hours of quality sleep because it is hard work for your brain to work efficiently. It takes a lot of power and you need to properly recover, and you need to make sure you get enough sleep so that your brain can function optimally. The next important step is your diet. You do not know how bad you're eating until you eat clean for at least 30 days, and then you can feel the night and day difference. If you have brain fog, if you're tired during the day, if your testosterone is out of whack, if you're not putting on muscle and you're just gaining fat, your diet is probably in the garbage. And as soon as you fix that, you'll perform like $1 million. You'll feel like $1 million. And what do you think that means? It means it's easier to earn $1 million. So I want you to cut out seed oils. I want you to cut out anything that's processed. And I literally want you to eat nothing more than high quality organic red meat, organic fish that is wild caught. Fruit is good for you. And then raw honey and things like raw dairy, avocados, raw cheese, things like that. If you literally only eat that, that's the only thing that goes in your body, I guarantee you in 30 days, your life will change from nothing more than changing your diet to eating the way you should be eating. Next is fitness. You need to be going to the gym. If you're not going to the gym right now for at least an hour every single day, you are keeping yourself from getting to where you want to be. Not only is it a physical benefit of like, oh, I'm getting muscles, but it is a mental benefit as well, because when you lift, you trigger hormones in your body to produce things like HGH and testosterone and serotonin, all these feel-good chemicals, and it will help you to work. Not only will you feel better, you'll work better, and you'll make more money, you'll be more confident, and you will look, honestly, a lot better to other people, which commands a lot of respect and has a lot to do with anytime you meet somebody or you go out on a date or anything of that sort. So at least 6 days a week, you can take a rest day, but at least 6 days a week, I need you to be lifting heavy, or if not, fighting and doing some sort of cardio on top. So now that your health is in order, let's clear out any of the bullshit habits that you have right now that are limiting your success. I need you to cut out all of these until you are making 6 figures a year. And then by that time, you're not going to want to reintroduce them into your life. So basically get rid of them, tell them that they're never coming back, and be disciplined. First and foremost, pornography is, I think, one of the most damaging things to young men in our world. And a lot of you watching this are going to hear me say that, and you're just going to think, oh, I don't do that. When in reality, you do. And it damages you, it fucks up your brain, it kills your drive, and it makes you become a lethargic, little soy boy zombie that is never going to be able to go out in the world and wage war on his goals. So get rid of it, cut it out. Next, junk food. We already talked about this in the diet, but if you are eating junk food or you're a binge eater, you have a habitual eating problem of eating crap, get rid of it. It's giving you brain fog, it's killing your health, it's killing your testosterone, and it's making you into a little bitch. Also, if you're on this path to greatness, you need to stop partying and you need to stop drinking. I've done it myself. I'll go to Europe, pop bottles, whatever. What you don't know is that I barely even drink, like ever, when I'm not actually on vacation. When I go hard, but I never do that, which means my brain is optimal all the time. My testosterone is operating the way it should be, and I am healthy. Alcohol is poison, whether it's fun or not. And if you're trying to get on the right path, you need to cut it out at least until you hit 6 figures. It's fine to go out every once in a while so you don't become an antisocial dork and you can meet people, but don't just be the college party frat bro that is partying and drinking beer and IPA. If you're going to drink, at least drink liquor like a real man. And lastly, cut out unnecessary time on your phone, and most importantly, things like TikTok. Guys, this is leeching on your attention span. Your dopamine system is getting fucked up, and you're wasting hours and hours and hours and hours on things that don't matter. It's no different than watching pornography if you're just watching these girls shake their ass on TikTok all day. It's a waste of your time. It's not helping you be productive, so cut it out. So now that we have our health in order, we've cut out all the bullshit. Now let's talk about habits that are going to accelerate our growth. The first non-negotiable is that you need to be spending 4 hours a day minimum of focused work on whatever it is that you want to work on. So if you're gonna be learning sales like I did, 4 hours a day needs to go into either doing sales or learning about sales or reviewing your sales calls. Something that is making the needle move, something that is making you better, something that is making you money. 4 hours a day, bare minimum. Next, replace all of your chill time with actual tangible education. So instead of watching like David Goggins hustle porn on YouTube and feeling a sense of accomplishment, go actually learn, okay? Go learn from billionaires, go order a couple books, go to tailopez.com/books and order Ty's favorite books. I've done that, they're phenomenal. Spend real time learning real things, whether it's skills or just knowledge or history, for crying out loud. Just something that is not pure garbage entertainment, because a well-rounded man and a well thought out man is a weapon, and it's going to be very, very useful as you go on this path to be making 6 figures a year. You should really not have a such thing as free time if you're trying to become something great. So all of your time is either learning, making money, or learning how to make money. That should be the only thing that you focus on. The next step is choosing the vehicle that is going to allow you to make the income that you need to make. So if we need to make $10,000 a month, how are we going to make $10,000 a month? Well, the thing that's going to do that is called the vehicle, not the car you drive, but what is the mechanism that you're going to do? What is the business model you're going to use to make $10,000 a month? And guys, not all vehicles are created equally. The perfect vehicle looks something like this. It's simple. It requires 1 or 2 skills, and it has leverage, meaning the output that you get is not really equal to the input. So if I can spend an hour doing this and I make $1,000, that's not the same as like working a 9 to 5 or making hourly money. You have a leveraged input where your output is much greater than the time spent on whatever the thing is you're doing. That is a good vehicle. For example, if you're a fry cook and you have another fry cook in the kitchen with you, you're more experienced, there's a new fry cook. You're both going to be paid the same amount of money. Your input is like flat. It doesn't matter if you're the best fry cook or if you're a shitty fry cook, you're gonna make the same amount of money because you're playing a game, you're in a vehicle that does not have leverage. You wanna be able to compete on skill and output, not on time spent. That's how you get out of being a wagey and getting out of being an hourly employee where you're trapped. That is the rat race. You really can't make more money. You just are paid the amount of hours you have in a day. What you want is to be paid for your skill and for your expertise. You want your 8 hours to be worth more than the other guy's 8 hours because you are better at what you do. And the next thing is you want a business model that provides you with something that I call the 3 freedoms. And that is financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. All of these are crucial to living a good life, and let me explain why. First and foremost, financial freedom is what you're desiring most. It is what's going to move the needle the largest of any of the others. Financial freedom means zero stress when it comes to money. You don't look at the price of things you buy in the store, you don't really worry about your bills, it disappears from your account, and you don't really notice because you make an abundance of money. You get the nice apartment, you get the nice car, you get the nice trips, and most importantly, you can take care of the people that you love, which was the biggest thing that I wanted to do. Guys, I grew up really poor with a single mom, and my biggest goal was to take care of her and my brother so that she never had any worries. And at 23, my mom is retired, she has a beautiful house in South Florida, and she does not have a worry in the world about finances anymore. But the biggest thing is security. Guys, you don't know what's going to happen in life. You might get an unexpected medical bill. Somebody might die and you got to pay for a funeral. You might get sued. You never know what's going to happen. And if you're living on the edge, like 60% of Americans are, paycheck to paycheck, you're kind of destined for failure because you can't afford for something to go wrong. And this is life, and things go wrong all the time. So having an abundance of money and good cash flow is not a nice to have, it's a vital thing. Next is location freedom. And if you have paid attention to what is happening over the last couple of years with the cough scam thing, that's all I'm gonna say so we don't get flagged. If you got locked in your house or you couldn't go to school, how are you gonna make money? If you worked a job that required you to be in person and you couldn't do it remote, how are you gonna make money? You weren't because you got laid off. Did anybody care? No, it's too bad. Shouldn't have done it. That's their mindset of forcing you to do those things. So the fact that there are people like myself that can make money from literally anywhere, any country, any place, as long as I have an internet connection, I can make as much money as I want to from my phone or my laptop. That is what you need. You need location freedom because you don't know what is going to happen in the world in the next couple of years. It's getting crazy. And if you're stuck to one location, to a physical job, you are destined for really bad things to happen. Imagine a pandemic, a war, famine, something crazy happens, and you can just pick up your family and go wherever's safe and still make as much money as you need to. That is why it is important. And lastly, time freedom. Time freedom is basically the ability to do two things with your time. Number one is your input. So your input is not linearly attached to the money you make, meaning I can work for 2 hours and make $5,000 one day, maybe 1,000 the next, but I'm never gonna make like 2 hours and make $200 or make $50. It's not the same. It's not proportionate to the time that I put in. That's called leverage. And secondly, you have a choice about how you spend your time. If you make money in a leveraged way with your time, what do you do the other hours you're not working? Well, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to go to the store, you want to take your mom out, you want to take your girl out, you want to go on a trip, you can do that because you are in control of your time, not a boss and not an hourly paycheck. Time freedom is amazing because it actually gives you the feeling that this is my life. I can independently do what I want. You can tailor your time and your lifestyle around what you want to do. If you want to be that guy that takes a couple calls and goes and surfs the rest of the day, you can. I know people that do that. I have a friend in Marbella who makes $10,000 a month and she works like 2 or 3 hours a day and then just goes to like clubs and nice dinners with her girlfriends the rest of the day. Like she lives a better life than 99% of these guys in America. You need time freedom so that you can actually live life how you want to. The next thing is that this business model and this vehicle has to require few skills. And the reason being is you're probably a beginner. If you're watching this video, you're probably under $10,000 a month, which means you don't have the skills already to make that kind of money. Because if you did, you would be. So you need something that's simple. Simple scales, complex fails. Simple is a good thing. You don't want to run a business where you need 50 different skills and all this responsibility when you're just starting, because that is a recipe for failure. That's why I laugh at all these people trying to start agencies or like e-commerce brands, because it takes so many skills. Like to run an agency, you have to know how to hire, how to fire, how to build a team, how to manage people, how to manage clients, how to build systems, not to even mention the offer that you are doing or the service. That's complex in itself. How to take payment, how to set up domains, like all this stuff you have to learn, which means to make any money, you have to know all these skills. That just doesn't make sense if you're a beginner and you're trying to make your first $10,000 online. E-commerce is the same way. Advertising, branding, logistics, packaging, shipping, customer service, all these different skills, which are complex, are required to have success. So people will get into these things and they'll fail and they'll think business is not for them. When in reality, it's not that business isn't for them. They just picked the wrong things to start with. Guys, I run a software company now and it is the hardest thing I've ever done. I could not have done this 3 years ago. There's no way in hell I would have quit business and I would have been like, this is a scam. But because I started in the right business model, it was easy and I made a lot of money and I was able to learn and build myself up to the point where I can get into difficult business models and make a lot more money. It's like trying to become an F1 driver before you ever get your license. It's just ass backwards, and people teach this because it makes them money, but that's not for you. You need something simple and you need to start the right way. So you want a business that revolves off one core skill. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've tried basically every business under the sun. When I was 18, when I was 19, when I dropped out of school and I was skipping class, I was doing Amazon FBA. I was reselling. I was doing e-commerce. I was doing drop shipping. I was trading options. I was trading crypto. I've done everything. I even made my first $100,000 with an agency. And then I shut it down because I realized this is a horrible idea. So trust me when I tell you, I have tried these things so that you don't have to. I now make a lot of money and I know what I'm talking about in business. So when I say start simple, trust me for your own good. Out of all the things I ever tried, there was one vehicle that completely changed my life. And we'll get to that here in a moment. But first, we need to get very tangible with what we're going to do with this vehicle. And that is where we come to step 4, which is defining your daily missions. Reverse engineering is a beautiful thing, especially if you're starting out. So that's basically picking a goal in the future and working its way backwards to figure out exactly how to get there. So a lot of people lack clarity. If you can't see, you're blind. If you're blind, you don't know where you're going. But if you can see that end goal, you basically have a map to work backwards on how to get there. Then you figure out what you need to do each quarter, each month, and then each day of actionable steps in order to reach that goal. It's basically like an in-game checklist on how to complete a mission, except it's the real life equivalent. So let's reverse engineer this goal together. Let's say your goal is to make $100,000 profit in 2024. First, we have to believe that we can do it. And I'm telling you guys right now, no matter how much money you think that is a small amount of money in the business world. And it is very, very, very achievable to do so. That means we need to make $8,333 a month in order to reach $100,000 profit for the year. Let's take it a step further. Let's break that down weekly. That's $2,083 a week. And finally, if we break it down even daily, that means you need to make $416 every single day in order to reach $100,000 a year. Now, I know a lot of you see a number like $416 a day, and it kind of blows your mind and you can't comprehend it. But I want you to understand that if you're in the right vehicles and you do the right things, that is actually such a small amount of money that here in 6 months, you're going to be laughing that you ever thought it was hard. So if that's our goal, $416 a day, remote freedom, time freedom, location freedom, and $100,000 profit a year, there's one business model that I think is superior to anything else on the market. It is the business model that changed my life. It's the business model that changed my brother's life. It changed my best friend's life, and it changed thousands thousands of people that I personally know and have worked with lives as well. This skill allowed me to make 6 figures a year from my laptop as a 20-year-old kid from anywhere in the world. It's not drop shipping, it's not SMMA or agencies, it's not Amazon, it's something called remote sales. So what is this? How does it work? Well, let me tell you why this is the best business model in 2024 and honestly the next several years to come and how you can get started. Remote sales is basically the only business model that I know of that is suitable for beginners and will allow you to do the things that we need to do to break free of the infinite loop. Remote freedom, time freedom, location freedom, and 6-figure earning potential with very little time involved. It is basically untapped at the moment. And what I mean by untapped is that if you went on the street and you asked 100 people what e-commerce was, or even what dropshipping was, a large portion of those people would know what it is. They've heard about it, they've seen it in ads. It's kind of saturated is the word people like to use. But if you asked 100 people, what is remote sales? They would be like, oh, sales? You mean like car sales? Like it's corporate office job or like door-to-door pest control? They don't know. The average person has no idea about this untapped industry and this untapped market and business model that people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with. That alone should get you excited at the breakthrough opportunity that you have in front of you that no one else is capitalizing on at the moment. Remote sales is the only way for a brand new online business person, a complete beginner, to make 6 figures in their first year if they apply themselves and they work hard. And the best news is you are so early, it's not even funny. You are Bitcoin in 2015 early. But the bad news is it won't stay this way. Early movers always make the most money. Early movers always have the best success and it's always the easiest. But it will not stay that way because once the going is good and once the gold rush strikes, people flock to it and it gets saturated and it becomes like everything else. So take note of what I'm telling you. Now is the time to get into remote sales because it won't always last. Good things never, ever, ever last and markets change all the time. Remote sales is the business model that will give you the ability to break free of the infinite loop in 2024 and for the next couple of years. For example, by 2030, the remote education space is expected to be worth over $200 billion. And all you have to do to cash in on that space is to become a remote closer. With remote closing, you will finally escape the infinite loop that you've been pushed towards your entire life by everybody around you. And it's because you will finally have your freedom back. With remote closing, you will get your time, location, and of course, financial freedom for the first time in your life. You get to set your own calendar, which means you get your time back. You can work from literally anywhere in the world with an internet connection, which means you get your locational freedom back. And you can make 6 figures with no degree, no certification, just your skill, which means you get your financial freedom back. On top of obtaining those 3 freedoms with remote sales, there's actually some other benefits that are going to be huge for your life. You get to enjoy your day-to-day. There's no product research. There is no running ads. There is no talking with several clients and managing people and hiring and firing. There's not even service delivery like with an agency. The only thing that you will be doing, and it still blows my mind, is sales. You will only be doing sales. And I'm not just saying this. I know personally, and I did myself, 6 figures the first year that I was in this. For a skill that can make you that much money as a complete beginner, to only be one skill and one thing to focus on is completely unheard of. So this is exactly how remote sales works, and this is how simple it is. Think of your favorite influencers online. Greg O'Gallagher, my friend Iman Gadzhi, Sebastian Georgiou, all these people, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. They all sell some sort of product online. It's a business. They make money from their brands. They sell coaching, courses, training, agency services, whatever it is. They all sell something that is usually between the price tag of $1,000 up to $50,000. They all have personal brands. They all post content, they run ads, and they generate a lot of attention online for these businesses. Every single potential lead that comes in is a potential customer. They just haven't bought what they have yet. They haven't been sold. They haven't been closed and turned into a deal. And that is exactly where you come in. Guys, these influencers are busy. They are basically CEOs with personal brands. They are not going to sit on the phone by themselves and speak with potential customers. That is why they will hire you. They will hire someone like you as a remote closer or an appointment setter to simply book or take calls for them, and they will pay you a fat commission for doing so. For example, one of the first offers I ever sold was for a real estate influencer. He sold a $15,000 real estate mentorship, and I got 10% of every deal that I closed. Meaning, every deal that I closed, I made $1,500 for that hour phone call. Literally that hour of time that I spent, I made $1,500. And I went on with that offer and with another to make $30,000 a month profit as a 21-year-old in this space. Now, if that sounds crazy to you, 10% is the average, the bare minimum that these companies are willing to pay you, because a good sales rep is worth their weight in gold. They cannot operate their business without a good sales team. And the better their sales team is, the more money they make. So they are happy to take really, really good care of you and make sure that you make a lot of money. And right now, take it from me. I own a software company where we connect closers and sales teams with each other to help them hire. We are having a shortage of sales reps. There's a shortage of good sales reps in this entire space. And these companies are literally begging me for more sales reps, and I simply can't help. I cannot help them. We don't have enough. There are not enough people. So unlike SMMA or unlike dropshipping, where there's too many people, there's too many businesses, too many brands, there's not enough sales reps right now to fill the demand in the market. And if you know anything about business, supply and demand, that means when there's a scarcity of something, it becomes more valuable. So not only is this untapped, not only is this the best business model and the best time to get in, you are worth more than ever because you are desperately needed by these companies. And if you think closing deals on the phone for people that love these people, for example, Iman is loved by his fans. If you get on the phone with someone on Iman's team, you're not needing to be sold. You're not needing to be hard closed. You simply are ready to buy and maybe you have a little bit of fear. That's what the job of the closer is to help you get over your fear and make a buying decision and make sure it's a good fit for you. That's it. So this isn't hard, high pressure sales. This is the easiest thing that you'll ever do in business to make 6 figures a year. And if you don't believe me, this is the exact same business that took me from nobody in Ohio, poor welfare country kid with no internet access, to making $20,000 to $30,000 a month and enabling me to move to Miami, start the businesses that I have now, and retire my mom. It was all because of sales. If I was on my deathbed and I had to give my son one skill to take care of him for the rest of his life, it would be the skill of sales. With remote sales, your product is the skill that is inside of your head, and all you need is a phone or a laptop as the mechanism to use that skill and to make 6 figures online. And though it is one skill, you do need to know exactly how to get started, how to get clients, how to learn the skill, how to be good, and how to actually make that $10,000 a month. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you in the next video. In the next episode, I'm going to give you your final mission to break free of the infinite loop and to create your own reality. I'm going to show you step by step, holding nothing back. I'm going to pull back the entire curtain, how to make 6 figures in 2024 with remote sales. I'm going to give you a clear checklist, just like a video game mission, because this life is a video game. And once you hold the cheat codes, it can be whatever you want it to be. This is going to be the most valuable video of the series and the most valuable video that I have ever put online. Click the notification bell. Make sure you are ready for this video. You show up with a pen and paper, ready to take notes, because I'm going to be giving you the best information of your life. And then that video will be taken down because I only want the people in this series that have been watching these videos to take advantage of this opportunity. And I don't want to flood it with everyone that is online. So I'll see you Friday, where I'm going to give you your next and final mission. Until then, God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.